Okay, so let's dig into something you've probably seen a million times: the psychology of being too nice. You might call it people pleasing. We're about to break down why this simple looking behavior is actually, well, incredibly complex.
So let's just start with a question that might flip this whole idea on its head. What if being too nice has nothing to do with kindness or generosity, but is actually about something way, way deeper?
And that question gets right to the heart of what we can call the paradox of too nice. I mean, on the outside, being agreeable and easygoing seems like a wonderful quality, right? But psychologically, it's a real puzzle where that super nice exterior is often hiding a much more painful internal reality.
Yeah, see, this isn't just a personality trait, it's not just who someone is. Our source material shows it's actually a deeply rooted survival strategy. And what that really means is it's a whole set of behaviors that someone learns way back in early childhood, simply as a way to cope, to feel safe, and to get by in a pretty challenging emotional world. So, where does a strategy like this even come from? Well, to really get it, we need to go all the way back to the beginning. Let's talk about what's happening for the unchosen child.
This entire too nice persona, the whole thing, is basically built on top of one single powerful feeling from childhood. And this one feeling, it ends up shaping a person's entire view of relationships and where they fit in the world.
And that feeling, according to our source, is the deep sense of being unloved or unchosen. Wow, those are heavy words, right? A child who starts to feel this way develops this core belief that love isn't just something you get for free, it's something you have to constantly, desperately earn. So, this core belief, it triggers a critical and usually totally unconscious turning point in their head. And that brings us to the strategy to be loved.
So let's trace the logic that's happening inside this kid's mind. It starts with step one, I feel unloved. That leads directly to step two, okay, so I have to prove that I'm worth loving. And how do you do that? Well, that's the strategy in step three. I will become whatever everyone else needs me to be. My own needs, they have to go. I just have to be perfectly agreeable. And this decision made in childhood doesn't just go away. Nope. It actually hardens over the years into a very specific adult personality. So let's look at how that actually shows up. This is the low maintenance persona. And this creates this huge split inside a person. On the outside, what you see is someone who's super easygoing, always helpful, the perfect low maintenance friend. They're the one who always says, oh, I'm fine with whatever. But what's hidden underneath all that? A deep, nagging fear of rejection, a laundry list of their own needs that they've pushed down, and you guessed it, a quiet, growing resentment.
You know that simmering resentment we just talked about? It's a huge clue. It points us directly to the final piece of this whole puzzle, a really important emotion that has to be locked away. And this is what we'll call anger hidden in plain sight.
I mean, think about it. If your entire survival plan is based on being easygoing and agreeable, then any emotion that signals a problem, well, that's a huge threat to the system. So to keep this persona going, one particular emotion absolutely must be hidden at all costs. And that emotion is anger. Anger is basically your body's alarm system. It's the thing that tells you when a boundary has been crossed or a need is being ignored. But for the people pleaser, that alarm is terrifying. Why? Because it could completely shatter that nice persona and risk the one thing they've spent their whole life trying to avoid: rejection. So let's pull all these threads together. Let's redefine this. People-pleasing isn't just about being nice. A much more accurate way to look at it is this. It's a survival strategy, one that's born from a childhood need to feel loved, and it involves becoming low maintenance and hiding your own anger, all in an attempt to prove your worth. And that leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. If we start seeing this pattern not as a character flaw, but as this deep-seated strategy for survival, we can ask ourselves, and maybe understand in others, what might we be hiding just to feel worthy of love?